So we all know that we should be draining our hot tub and refilling it about every 3 months or so. If you don't know that, now is the time to learn that, because it's really important for your water quality, your water chemistry, and the safety of you and the other people that are going to be soaking in your hot tub. So the fastest way to drain your hot tub is to use a submersible pump. And in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly which one I use and exactly how to use it step by step. But just know that unlike hooking a garden hose up and waiting for it to drain, which can take hours, a submersible pump will work in only about 15 minutes. And mine comes with a 25-foot hose, so I can direct it to an unused part of my backyard, well away from trees, plants, the foundation of the house, and things like that. You don't want to dump hot tub water, and remember that we're talking about hundreds of gallons. You don't want to dump that on anything important, be it right at a base of a tree or a flower bed or a pristine lawn or anything like that. You want to direct it well away from all of those kinds of things, because even if you let your hot tub go a little bit in terms of the sanitation before you drain it in the days leading up to that, it's still going to have a lot of chemicals in there that can damage your lawn, damage trees, and other things like that. And it's a large volume of water, so you don't want to drain it near anything important. Ideally, if you had it near you, you drain it right into a sewer drain. But most of us have our hot tubs in our backyard and don't have a clear access to that. So I just drain mine to kind of a discreet corner of the yard. I don't want to drain it too close to the neighbors' yards either, just out of respect for them. So anyway, we're going to get into all of that and more here in just a minute. So I'm going to show you how I like to drain my hot tub. You can hook a garden hose up to it and stick that hose somewhere in the yard in a non-conspicuous place and let it drain, and it'll take a few hours to do it. I drain mine in about 15 minutes using a really cool device called a submersible pump. This is it right here. This is a float that kind of tells it when to shut off, and the entire thing just sits down inside of the hot tub. And then I've got a 25-foot hose that attaches to it that I run to an inconspicuous part of my yard to drain it. It drains in about 15 minutes. Trust me, this thing is worth its weight in gold in terms of getting you back online fast. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is my submersible pump. I'm going to drop the entire thing in, and then I'm going to run the hose to an inconspicuous part of the yard. You never want to drain your hot tub water on garden beds or trees or flowers or plants or things that you care about. Even though I've let my hot tub get dirty on purpose for the purposes of this video, it's still got a lot of chemicals in there, and those chemicals can damage your lawn, can damage your trees and plants and things. So you always want to drain your hot tub, ideally at the city sewer drain if you have one close. Otherwise, just an inconspicuous part of your yard. That's where we're going to drain this. So let's do it now. So first things first, you'll notice this thing does not have an on-off switch. That's because the moment I drop it in the water and this sensor alerts it that it's underwater, it's going to start pumping. So you don't want to do that until your hose is in the right place. My hose is still here on the deck, so I'm going to go find a good spot in my yard to put the end of that hose so that it can drain successfully. And luckily, it's a 25-foot hose, so there's plenty of space. I'm going to drain it back over this way. I'm going to go put the other end at a far corner of my yard, and I'll be right back. Okay, my hose is run to an inconspicuous part of my yard. The next thing I do before I drop this in is cut the power to my hot tub. Not because there's any danger, but as the tub drains, I don't want the jets on while the water level is below the level of the jets. So I'm going to cut the power right now. And then, like I mentioned, this pump will automatically kick on the moment it gets completely submerged. And it's just going to automatically start pumping the water. Okay, the submersible pump is completely submersed in the hot tub. It's already starting to drain pretty quickly. It should only take about 15, maybe 20 minutes max to drain the entire tub, except for a little bit of water at the bottom that we'll get with a wet dry vac. I won't make you sit through this entire process though, so we'll be back in just a minute. I just wanted to show you real quickly what the other end of the hose looks like. That's about as far away as I could get mine. Like I said, the hose is 25 feet long, and I just kind of ran it to an inconspicuous part of my backyard. It's near the fence line. There's no neighbor's property over there, because I certainly wouldn't want to drain it onto somebody else's property, but it's fairly good distance away from trees. I don't have any plants or flowers or bushes or anything back there, and it's just a good inconspicuous spot to drain the hot tub. So it's not done yet, but it's only been about 5 minutes, and hopefully you can see how much lower it is already just in those 5 minutes. So while it's draining, I also want to give a shout out to this particular submersible pump. It's from a company called Easy Travel Collection, and on Amazon it's well under 130 bucks. Comes with free shipping. It's got hundreds of reviews, and they're almost all 5-star. And for good reason. You literally just plug this thing in, you connect the hose, which in shipping comes disconnected from the pump, and you drop it in. That's it. Aside from running the other end of the hose to wherever you want it, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. It doesn't even come with an on-off switch. It literally just starts the moment you submerge it. It's a great product, and it's going to save you a boatload of time rather than having to take the siding off of your hot tub, find the spot where the garden hose connects, and then wait for hours while it drains slowly through your garden hose. This thing is really amazing and well worth the money. So I definitely recommend getting it. I'm going to include a link to that in the description. Okay, so here we are. Only about 15 minutes later, and as you can see, the hot tub is almost totally empty except for a little bit of water left at the very bottom. I'm going to go ahead and remove the submersible pump, and like I said, it just automatically shuts off once it's gotten down to a low level. This thing tells it to basically to trip off automatically, so you don't have to worry about anything. You can literally drop it in. You can go to a restaurant while it's draining and go eat. But like I said, it only takes about 15 minutes, so it's not really all that long. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and then I'm going to get my wet dry vac to get the rest of that water out of there. Then we have to clean the thing. Okay, so I've got my submersible pump put away, got the hose coiled up. Now it's time to use the wet dry vac. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, what's the point of using a submersible pump if you still have to finish it off with a wet dry vac? And the answer is you'd still have to do this part even if you were draining it with a garden hose. No matter what method you use to drain your hot tub, there's always going to be a little bit of water left at the bottom, and the easiest way to get that is a wet dry vac. I'll link to my favorite one of these in the description as well, but you may already have one because they're invaluable for a variety of uses. Anyway, I'm just going to vacuum out what little bit of water is left here. That'll take me maybe just a couple of minutes. The next thing I'm going to do is wipe down the surface of the entire thing with just a little all-purpose cleaner and a rag, just to really get this thing clean so that when we fill it back up with fresh water, we're starting off with a really clean hot tub. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's taken a little bit of time, but I'm pretty much done with wiping down the tub. What I like to do before I fill it back up though, is I like to get the hose and I like to just give everything a quick hose off. Any debris that might be left, it's pretty windy today, so even as I'm cleaning, the trees are blowing leaves in. I'm just gonna hose everything down to kind of the center and then do one last sweep through with my wet dry vac just to kind of get that out. Then we'll be ready to fill her up. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, I'm finally done wiping this thing out. This thing is maybe not completely pristinely perfect, but it's pretty darn clean and ready to be filled back up again with fresh, clean water. Once it gets up above the level of the basic jets is when I'll cut the power on. That's when it's going to start to heat. But just know that Heating up a hot tub from scratch can take anywhere from 3 hours up to 8 hours. There are quite a few factors that go into that. One is the temperature of what the weather is that day. Right now here in Texas in May, it's probably pushing 80 degrees, so it's a little warm but not super hot. If I was doing this in July, which it probably will be, it would definitely heat up faster, but it's definitely going to heat up faster than if I lived in Minnesota and was doing this in December. So the ambient air temperature is definitely a factor. Once it gets up above a certain level, like I said, I'll turn the power on. Then I'm going to turn on every jet and every water feature, and I'm going to put the lid back on, completely cover it. That will help circulate the hot water and keep that heat trapped inside, which will cause it to heat up faster. I want this thing ideally to get back to normal temperature within about 3 hours or so. I don't want to have to take all day. So that's what we're going to do right now, and there's more to come in a minute. Okay, as you can see, the hot tub has been filled back up again. I've more or less managed to keep debris out of it in that process. Now, as it's heating up, and of course I've got the jets on and I had the lid closed up until I hit record, which will keep the heat trapped in there and get it to heat up faster. But now I need to treat the water. I need to do a test strip, and then I need to adjust as necessary on things like pH and chlorine levels, which will be pretty much non-existent at this point. So let's do that right now. So I don't know what I need yet. So the first thing to do is to dip a test strip in and see what the water looks like. Again, this is garden hose water, hadn't had anything done to it yet. So as we suspected, chlorine levels are non-existent. The alkalinity is fairly high, and pH is actually okay. So we need to bring the alkalinity down a little bit, and then of course we need to add some, I've got liquid bromine here, and then I've got a chlorine shock. And of course the chlorine shock and the bromine can both impact the chlorine and bromine levels on your test strip. So you want to take that into consideration when you're adding this. This is a brand new bottle here, so hadn't even opened it yet. So of course, generally speaking, you're not going to know exactly how much bromine or chlorine to add to your hot tub right out of the gate to get it up to the level that you need it to be at. So I'm just going to start off with probably about a half a cup. And then I'm also going to add some shock. And we know we have to bring the alkalinity up. Okay, so I've added some bromine, some liquid bromine, and a little bit of shock. We're going to have to wait at least 30 minutes before we test that again to see if we need to adjust it any further. We do know we need to bring the alkalinity down. This product here is called Spa Down, which unfortunately is going to impact the pH also. And the pH was pretty much right where we wanted it to be. So we probably will have to use pH up once this is settled in. But again, I want to let these chemicals kind of go to work and get circulated throughout the entire tub before I do any more testing or adjusting. So we'll come back to it in about 30 minutes and see how it's looking. Okay, so we've had plenty of time for the water to adjust to all the chemicals I added. As you can see, the water quality looks really clear, looks really nice. I'm just going to do a final test strip and verify that the levels are looking good. So everything is right in the normal tolerance range. If anything, the alkalinity is maybe just a hair high, but it's still pretty much within the normal tolerance range. pH looks good, and the free bromine and chlorine looks good as well. So this concludes our video for today. As you can see, this was quite a labor of love, quite a laborious process. Not something you're going to want to do on any regular basis, but it's crucial for the lifespan of your hot tub and its equipment, and crucial for the safety of those people soaking in the hot tub. Once again, everyone, my name is Jeff Campbell. This is my channel, Hot Tub Owner HQ. I also have my website, hottubownerhq.com, and I'd love for you to hit that bell notification, that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. If you like this video, I'd love to see your comments down below. Even if you have constructive criticism for me, please share that with me. That's going to keep my channel growing and keep my videos getting better and better and better. If you have a question, I'd love to see that in the comments too. And if you have a suggestion for future videos, I'd love for you to share that with me also. Once again, Jeff Campbell, Hot Tub Owner HQ. I'll see you in the next one.